Right, yeah. So basically, this session is just like I said about funnels. It's just to basically what I'm going to do. I think is just go over the funnel part in the module, but obviously it's just more interactive when we're all together. I'll just skim through that, kind of skim through the slides, and we can all chip in and ask questions and things as we go. And then I'll show you a bit about like the back end kind of stuff, like the email automation that connects to it, Active Campaign, and I'll show you my funnel. And yeah, hopefully it'll just obviously. Cause is anybody actually? I don't think anybody's running funnels at the moment at you lot, are there? Is there? No.
No,
No. Okay. So yeah, I'll get into these slides, but so yeah, what's just to put it out there? What's everyone's kind of idea of what a funnel is? What would you say a funnel is? What is a funnel to you?
Is it when you fill the top end in, it filters the bad stuff out, and then you come to what you're looking for at the end of it?
Yeah, that's it, pretty much. Yeah, it's obviously we're trying to get as much in the top end of just obviously it is targeted traffic, but we're trying to get it to a point where this targeted traffic that we're putting at the top, we're trying to phase out and get rid of all the crap quality stuff that's just not right for you and that's not kind of ready to roll. So it's just that's why it's called a funnel, obviously, because you're getting a lot in the top and you're just left with the gold at the bottom, which is the qualified, ready to roll leads that are right for you, which I think is a big problem at the minute in financial services, where a lot of firms are just dealing with a load of leads that are just shit quality and they're not right for them. But the other benefit of this is that it, obviously paid ads is the way that it really kind of you can really put it in front of thousands of people every day, but you don't have to pay for it. Once the funnel's done, like people like Jenny, you're getting a lot of traction through like the reels and stuff, aren't you? So that's traffic. It doesn't matter where the traffic's coming from. If you can direct them to this kind of core piece of content, which is the funnel, and that does all the kind of pre-selling, pre-sells them, it pre-qualifies them, and it's all kind of automated. So it does a hell of a lot of work for you, all on an automated basis. But yeah, let me just show you these slides. Share the screen. Right. Can we see Canva? Slides.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, the whole premise, obviously, like I says, is to put yourself in front of thousands of your ideal client day in, day out on autopilot. Because I think a lot of people, a lot of firms are doing a lot to put themselves in front of people, like people doing to like networking events and spending like 6 hours a week. Some people are putting into networking events where they sat in front of a room full of people where 2 of them might be their ideal client and spending like 6 hours a week doing it. Where this, once it's done, it's putting yourself in front of literally thousands of your ideal client every single day without you having to do anything more for it once it's set up. So it's kind of the whole premise of what we do. It's called New Age Advisor. So it's the whole premise of what we do is to try and show you ways of making things more efficient and time effective, and like the essentialism side of things of just kind of just doing the things that are really going to get you the best results from the smallest amount of input. And so the funnel then, basically the whole premise of it is to warm people up to you as who you are and what you do on an automated basis. So it takes people from not knowing you at all, because obviously financial services is a massive financial commitment. So it's a trust thing. Nobody's going to trust just a random kind of ad on Facebook with a massive financial commitment. So they need something to kind of warm them up and kind of just build up these touch points, we'll call them in marketing, where someone's got to kind of see you and your brand between 7 and 11 times before they'll kind of engage you for business. And so this kind of does that in one blast, one 15-minute shot. which previously could have taken months or even years to build up these touch points, but we just do it in one blast through this funnel. So yeah, the point of it is that obviously these touch points, it builds up trust, authority, professionalism, and expertise. It's basically the core of this trait. The funnel is a video, so it's a video of you teaching your ideal client something of value to them, and that obviously proves authority. So obviously the lead is looking at that and thinking, oh yeah, this person obviously knows what they're talking about because they're obviously teaching it. So, and they're professional and they've got expertise in that area. And yeah, that kind of ticks a lot of those boxes. And it builds a bit of like rapport as well, because you talk a bit about yourself and how you got started and what you do, which again goes a long way in connection and just having that human connection, which people need when they're doing a business transaction. So yeah, like I said, the core of the funnel then is just to it's a video presentation, but it's not a sales pitch, because people just kind of switch off when they think they're being sold to. So it's not a sales pitch. It's more about just providing value, specific value, dependent on your ideal client. So that's obviously the first part of what we do in the modules, is to define the ideal client, and then we kind of structure this around your ideal client. Just to go around, is everyone okay with their ideal client at present? I know you're not, Elaine, because you've literally just signed up and not done anything yet. But yeah. Have you got an idea?
I think because we're sort of looking at the wealth side of things, we're going to have different ideal clients for different products. So that's the bit I don't know how we'll get around that yet. But.
Yeah, I remember we said on the call, didn't we? There's a few different. Yeah, well, we'd have to. Well, we need to have a call anyway to go through it all, don't we? Once you've done that first module, but.
So does this work for does it work for different ideal clients? Like if you go people 50 plus with pensions and other, young people wanting to start up a pension and all that sort of stuff.
It does, but we'd just go for one initially.
Pick one to start with, yeah.
Yeah, and just nail that. Once we've nailed that, once we know that works, we can then kind of duplicate it onto other parts of the business or other markets. But initially, we'd just focus on the one.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I know, Dan, we've talked about this literally today, haven't we? So you're okay with that at the minute, your niche and stuff. And you're all right, Jenny, with yours?
Oh, yeah, I was on mute. So yeah, I'm all good with mine.
Yeah, so cool. Far. What about you, Dean? NHS?
Yeah, I think in terms of the funnel aspect, I think I'm going to start with the NHS bank staff, and then I might rebrand with regards to the other niches that I spoke with you about.
Yeah.
But funnel purposes, yeah, I think it will work best for the NHS bank staff.
Yeah. Cool. Simon, what are you thinking, mate? You were going for the over 50s, weren't you?
Yeah.
Is that the plan still?
I think so, yeah. I need you to redo my LinkedIn page if you can.
Right. Yeah.
Obviously for recompense.
Yeah. What about business protection? I think I asked you this last time. What was, I can't remember. What's the situation with the business protection stuff?
I need to have a chat with you about that. Really, about the best approach to that.
Right.
I'd like to do it, but it's a different marketplace completely to mortgages, isn't it? It's just a different thing completely. So
it is. How did you get on with the course?
The course was excellent. Really good.
Yeah.
Learned a load. I'd recommend it to anybody who fancies doing it. Matt's Chapman's fantastic, isn't he? He's just he knows what he's talking about and is very enthusiastic about it. Explains it in a really straightforward way and a practical way as well. This is what you need to know. This is what you need to do. This is how you get your customers, etc. So.
Yeah, there's no fluff, no bullshit. It's just just what you need to know, and that's it. That's
there's a lot of information in 4 weeks, has to be said. But
yeah,
it's quite intensive.
Yeah, it's I need to speak to, because we're talking about doing it as an actual kind of online course and putting all what he taught you into like a productized online package and selling it like this. But
it would work, I think.
Yeah, it's worth a go.
I mean, we all of our sessions were very interactive, though.
Yeah.
There's a lot of backwards and forwards between us, so
yeah, it does need an element of that. But
you'd have to tweak it quite a lot to do an online course, I think.
Yeah, well, it'd be something similar like these kind of check-in calls where you can have that interaction on Zoom.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Simon, sorry, Dan. I just think it might be, Simon, if you don't mind me asking, I think this might be useful for other people who are maybe concerned about changing what they're talking about. What's the hesitation around changing to the sort of the new target audience?
Hesitation, what, with business protection?
Yeah.
Well, because it's a completely different business. I mean,
as in the business approach you need to take, or the business that you'd be looking for?
The business that you'd be looking for, and the approach you need to take. It's running a different business. It's not mortgage broking, and it's not personal protection. I mean, a lot of what's in personal protection for mortgages and stuff, it's a similar products, but it's a completely different approach. You're running it's a separate business, I would say.
And sorry, I was only asking because I'm sure other people in the group will be having doubts and hesitations around changing who they're targeting as well. I just wondered if there was any particular reasons. And all that stuff you said is completely valid and understandable, and you don't want to get it wrong. I would encourage everybody to lean into stuff like that a bit harder, not just yourself.
I think what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to get this finally. I've been not very successful in getting anything done, but I've had a reasonably good year, so it's been okay. But I know I've got to get this sorted out, and so I'm going to try and get it done as far as mortgages are concerned on this. A bit like Dean, get one thing done, get something done, and then apply it to something else. It's a different. You're talking to completely different people in business protection. Your target audience is just so far away from a regular mortgage customer. That's the thing.
It is, but obviously if we've not started putting stuff out yet, then the stuff that you're putting out is either one or the other anyway. So
yeah. If you can, you can run them in tandem. I'm not saying you have to stop doing one to do another, but it's a different approach. It's a different mindset. It's a different thought process in your head. It's a different practical process as well.
Well, it's more profitable, isn't it?
If you can get the clients.
Well, yeah.
Theoretically, yes. Yeah. Theoretically, yes. Yeah.
So if I was you, I would lean into using this for that.
Yeah. I will do.
Instead of the mortgages, because like I say, it's just easier and it's more profitable, and you've not already started putting any work into the mortgage side. You're not like going back on yourself in that sense.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
But absolutely,
it's the shift it's the paradigm shift from being a mortgage broker to not being a mortgage broker, I suppose.
Yeah, it is. It's a big change, isn't it? It's a big shift, but that's where the value is, isn't it? In change.
Yeah, you're right.
So well, just give me a shout after if you want to have a chat about it, Simon.
Yeah, I'll give you a shout this week.
Yeah. So back to these slides there, guys. So these are just some examples of the kind of things that we'd cover in this training. So like I say, it's got to be something that's of value, obviously, to your ideal client. So these are just some examples, and we've got all the scripts for these and like the presentations, the slideshow presentations that map to the scripts of these subjects. So obviously it is mainly mortgage for mortgages, but I think there is some in here, Elaine, for financial planning. Like, yeah, wealth, five-step plan to building wealth and adding 500k to your retirement fund. Investment property. Yeah, so there's, like I say, it's mainly brokers, but there is one there at least for financial planning. And yeah, like I say, it's just giving them value. It's not pushing sales. It's demonstrating what you do, but it's not in a salesy way, but it's showing what you do. And then that has more of an impact than kind of just pushing at people. It's showing, it's giving them value. It's kind of giving part of your advice away for free. And that's what proves to the lead that you can do your job well, because you're doing your job for them already. It's just part of the job. And that's what creates the authority. And they think, yeah, this person's obviously qualified to help me get me to where I need to be. So that's the core of it. Like I say, and we provide you with the funnel, the template for it, which I'll show you in a minute. We provide you with the slides and the script, and it just needs editing, which, like I say, I'll show you. I'll show you that in a minute. But these are the different parts to a funnel. So the landing page is obviously it says it in the title. It's a landing page, so people land on that first page. That's the first thing they see. Which I'll just show you mine while we're going through it. So my landing page. Let me shift this. So this is my landing page. I take it you still see that?
Yes.
So they'll land on that, and obviously it's the pain. The first thing that they want to see is the kind of pain point. So obviously, my ideal client is you guys. It's mortgage and financial service firms, and your main pain point, the thing that you guys struggle with the most, is how to get leads. So that's there in black big capital letters. Learn how to fill your calendar with red hot qualified appointments. So that's the thing that gets their attention. That's the main pain point. So when they see that, they think, right, yeah, this is something that I'm interested in. And yeah, so obviously you'll have that dependent on your ideal client. So that's the landing page anyway. And then the next part of it, is the video. So they'll click, watch the video, they'll put in their email address and the phone number and the name. And obviously this is going into a CRM. So we're getting them as a lead. Even if they don't book a call, we've still kind of got them as a lead in ActiveCampaign, which is the CRM, which I'll show you in a minute. So we're building up a database, which is so valuable to do, because obviously with social media, when you're getting leads on social media and you're building up a profile on social media, it's kind of, you haven't got control over that. And the posts that you post, you've got no control over who sees that. You're down to the algorithm, and they dictate who sees your posts. And obviously not 100% of people do see what you post on social media. But when you get them on an email list and you send them an email, at least 100% of those people have at least got the opportunity to see that content, which obviously with social media you don't have. So the whole premise of like what we do now with social media is to get people off social media. I know it's as weird as it sounds, and build your own kind of database that you've got full control over, which is what we're doing as a byproduct, really, because the whole premise, the whole objective of this is to get a call, to get a lead initially, but we're still on the other side of it. We're still building up a database and of leads to kind of just people that might not be ready yet. People just might want to be moving in the next year, so we'll not book a call straight away, but they're still somewhere in the world, in the market for a mortgage or for financial planning. And so because we've got them as a lead, we can send them emails over time, and when the time does come, you're first to think of because they're getting emails from you.
Do you ask for their permission to send them emails at any stage, or do you just give them an opt-out?
Yeah, so every email has the option to opt out, and yeah, you've got to. Yeah, but that's GDPR. This came in, as you're aware of, in the last few years. So you've got to give them that option to opt out. But I get a lot of people opting out of my emails, but those people are never going to buy anyway. Because a lot of people get kind of disheartened when they think they're getting people unsubscribing. But it's a good thing, because you want a quality list of leads, right? Of people that are wanting your content, and the people that unsubscribe, they're never going to buy anyway. So it's no loss.
Now, I'm just wondering, from a GDPR point of view, do you ask at any stage in this part of the funnel? By the way, I'm going to be sending you some emails. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's the first one that it sends from this automated software. It asks them basically, and you've got to let them know what it is that they've signed up for.
Okay.
And then they've got the option to opt out. And like I say, in every single email, it's quite obvious at the bottom that you can unsubscribe.
Right.
So yeah, obviously they'll watch the training, and like I said, this will hit those touch points. So once they've done that and they've sat there for 15 minutes watching this training, you know that they're pretty invested, and we've made them jump through a few hoops, and that's what we want to do, because that's where the gold is. Because we want to kind of phase out all the kind of tire kickers, the low quality crap leads that are just not kind of ready to roll. So by the time someone's gone through this process, they've watched the video and they press the button, they'll apply for a free strategy call. So at the end of this video, you'll say, if you want to arrange a free strategy call, press this button below. And then they'll press the button, and that brings up your Calendly booking link. So obviously, if you've already got Calendly, you just plug it in. If not, you'd set up a Calendly account. And does everybody here use Calendly, or does anybody use it, or does nobody use it? Or Dan, are you shaking your head?
I've not got it. No.
Say that again, Dan.
I said I've not got it. I have heard of it, and I will plan on using it definitely.
Yeah. Have you guys got it, Elaine?
No.
You've got it, haven't you, Jenny?
Yeah. I use it. To be fair, I'm a massive fan of it, especially now there's routing forms on it as well, which I've started to try to create. But I'll probably have 2 appointments drop in there a day that I've had no contact with that person whatsoever, and they just book in, done.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 100%.
Where does it pull through to? Does it like it? Because I've got I use a Google Calendar. Does it pull through to that, or is it just completely separate?
Yeah, no, it pulls through. So in my calendar, I've got it set so there's set appointments. So you have to be quite good at booking out things, because if you don't book out things, you will have an appointment that fall in there, which I've got caught out a few times. So my calendar is set so you can have an appointment with me at set times on set days. And when they book in, it will then just fall into my calendar. And then they receive, you can set up how many reminders you want to send them, what documents you're going to ask for them up front. And then they'll get like text messages as well, confirming it. And then after the appointment, I'll send them, like if I do a mortgage offer appointment, right now my fee is due. So then that will send them the link to make the payment directly to pay my fee, give them the testimonial and the reviews, and it will do all of that automated for you. So it's really good, to be fair.
Is there a cost to it? Is there a cost for it?
Yeah, there is. I think it's about 120 quid a year. So it's nothing. It really is nothing. No big outlay or anything. The hardest part is setting it up. But once it's set up, it kind of just takes care of itself. And they've just brought in what's called a routing form, which is a bit like a funnel, I guess, where they will ask you you can ask the client certain questions on a link, and it will send them, say, your booking form, it will say, I can't help you, or you need to download your credit file, or go and do this. And it will give them lots of options that they can kind of do based on that. But I guess that's a bit like a funnel, a mini funnel almost.
Yeah, it's quite conditional. So it'll respond differently to whatever they input, like whatever their answers are, it'll go one way or the other kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's such an important bit of kit. It pre-qualifies people as well. But it's from a managing your time perspective, like Jenny said, the best bit around it is blocking out your time. So you can set up times during the day and during the week that you will only take certain appointments, and they will only fall into that. And then if there's a clash with something in your calendar, it will let you know, and you can link it to all your calendars. It's like Jenny said, it's a ball ache to set up, but it's a short-term inconvenience for a long-term reward. You know, be patient with it, take the time, watch a few videos, speak to some people, get it set up. And it's really, really effective. But I find it so useful for just managing my time, because I know where my time is going then. I don't have to worry about where I need to be. I know that I only take these certain calls on a Monday afternoon, or these people can only contact me in this certain time frame. And what it does is it conditions the people that are trying to get in contact with you to contact you on a time that's appropriate to you. Because what I've found working with not just guys in your industry, but across the board, these things here are the best and the worst thing in the world. We'll answer them at any time of the day. When we do that, we tell the person on the other end that we're available 24/7. And we end up just being, oh, I'll just do an extra email, or I'll just take this call in an evening. Before you know it, you've worked 10, 15 hours in a day because you've just taken that call. The Calendly system makes it really, really efficient and just makes the best use of your time. Really, really important.
And do you find that many people then forget about the appointments and don't turn into them, or?
No, they get. So Jonathan made me do my KPIs the other day. So from the appointments I have, I've worked out I've got an 85% completion rate on mortgages from calls I take to that.
Yeah. If you think about the psychology of it, if we're booking an appointment with somebody and I get sent a reminder and it goes into my calendar, the chances of me taking part in that call just go up every time. And again, I can't speak for Jenny at all, but we hardly have anybody miss our appointments. I couldn't tell you somebody who's missed the appointment, because they've already jumped the hurdles that Dan's talking about. You've got them to get involved, and it's just further commitment. But it also it screams professionalism. It screams these guys are efficient, they're good. You know, it's just all the little things that as a purchaser, it's just ticking boxes. You're like, yeah, these guys are switched on.
Cool.
Sense. Absolutely.
We said something then, Dan.
I was just saying that, Mel. I've heard of it before, and yeah, it is. I've never used it. I didn't realise it was just that much a year, Jenny, to be honest with you. It's money that'll earn you a lot of money back, I think, that is by the sound of it. And time.
Yeah, honestly, I kicked off and took me ages to get it. Ross will tell you how long it took them to convince me to get it. And then I've got it, and it has just been a life changer. So my link for my Calendly, I didn't want to put out, and I don't think there's anyone in the group at the moment who laughs at us. So I was really worried I was going to get drunken people on a Sunday evening just booking random calls.
I remember that.
But actually they don't, because then before they can get a call, they've got to have sent me a credit file, and they've got to have sent me their documents, and they've got to have done all of this other stuff to get to that point of booking a call. So those drunken people kind of fall out after the first click, and I never have to speak to them. But yeah, it's a really good thing. And I would say that if you're not using it, you should definitely, I'm not saying use it because it's up to you, but you should definitely investigate it and see if it fits for you guys.
Yeah. And beauty of it is as well, like you were asking Dan, it integrates into your Google Calendar. So if you've got personal things that you've got going on in the day and you've got them in your Google Calendar, it'll kind of it'll book around that. It'll block those days out, so people will those times out, so people won't be able to book appointments when you've got stuff already scheduled in your Google Calendar. So yeah, it's definitely worth looking into. So yeah, so obviously, yeah, back to this then. So they'll book a call, and part of this, as we've said, they'll book the time, they'll book the date, and then we're asking them pre-qualification questions in here as well. Obviously, mine's different to what yours will be, but yours will be, are you moving straight away, 12 months, 6 months, or just gathering information? If you've got a deposit, how much deposit we've got. Obviously, for you, Elaine, it'll be how much they've got in the pensions, or whatever you need to know to pre-qualify them, to make sure that they're right for you before you invest the time ringing them. Because, like I said before, a lot of firms are just wasting a shit ton of time ringing crap quality leads that are just not right for them. So this kind of takes that out of the equation. So you'll get an email, obviously, straight away with all this data on it. And then once they've done that, it just takes them to a thank you page. So that's the whole premise. The whole idea is obviously to get them to book that call with you. And then we've got them as an actual booked appointment, but these are kind of red hot appointments as well, because we've taken them through this system which warms them up, it pre-qualifies them, and like I say, it makes people jump through hoops. So by the time they've got to this point that they're really interested in what it is that you've got to offer and what you've got to say, and they know about you and what you do and how you can help them. So they are shit up quality leads by the time they've got to this point. But
Dan,
sorry, go on.
Dan, can I just ask you a question on the one that we can use? Do they have to complete it fully for it to come over to us?
Yeah, well, the form.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they've got to do all that to actually book a call with you. Yeah, and okay. But people that don't, and they're kind of, because there's two kind of forms we've got on this form. This is this is the actual kind of scheduled form, but at the front of the funnel on the landing page, that's like the opt-in form. So there's two forms. One is the opt-in form, and this is the actual scheduled form. So obviously we want them to get to this point to book a call. But if they've not got to that point, they've not booked a call, they have opted in. So like I said before, we know that they're somewhere in the market. They're just probably not ready yet, or they might just need a couple of extra of those touch points. They just might need to see us a couple more times to actually get that full kind of trust from you, really, to think, yeah, this is the guy or this is the girl I need to help me get me to where I need to be. So this is where there's two kind of contingencies that we have. One is the email marketing, because they've opted in, they've put their email address in. So that'll go into Active Campaign, which is this. So this is where all those opt-ins will drop into. So like I said, we've got their emails and we've got the phone number as well. So we can send texts, we can send them emails. But the point is just to, like I said, they might just not be ready yet, but they might be ready in 2 months. But if we didn't have this, they'd just be gone into the abyss and we'd never see them again. So I get probably about 40% of my leads are through this contingency compared to people that actually book a call. But without this, I'd probably lose 40% of my business. But because this is here, it just kind of scoops up the kind of droppage that comes out from this and brings it back to the forefront. So yeah, and we can send them emails over the course of however long we've got them on the list, really. But the first thing we do, which is an automated thing, so because they've tapped their email address in, we can do what's called, it's like Jenny alluded to earlier, conditional. So it knows if they've booked a call or not through this system. And if they've not, it'll send them an email and say, you've obviously opted into this thing. Are you interested in it still? In the first kind of 24 hours, then it'll send another 24 hours later, but it'll keep checking because it'll know if they booked a call or not. And if they have, then it won't send them emails. But if they haven't, then it'll keep sending them reminders, because a lot of people just kind of open it on the phone and think, oh shit, I'll watch this on my laptop later, but they'll just never get round to it. But because we send them emails, they'll think, oh right, yeah, I'll get round to that. So we've got that kind of automated sequence. And again, you get all this included. You get the templates for that. And then we can set, that's like a 30-day, we do it for 30 days. And after 30 days, like if they've not booked a call, then they just go into the normal kind of pool where we just send them emails as and when kind of thing. So yeah, that, like I say, it's worth its weight in gold, this active campaign, because it does bring in a lot of revenue fee, which without that would just be lost. And then the other, obviously, if you're running paid ads, which is obviously part of what we do, that is the main way to push a lot of traffic to your funnel. We have what's called a pixel on the funnel, which is a piece of code, which means that kind of once somebody lands on that landing page, we can show them retargeting ads on Facebook. So like I say, if they've not booked a call and they've just forgot about it, we've got that other contingency other than this email automation, so people can just get reminded about it, because like I say, some people might just forget, but then they'll see your ad again and they'll think, oh yeah, I need to get around to that, but I never did. I'll kind of watch that training. Or so yeah, that's where a lot of it comes from. As I said, that not everybody goes through it the way we want them to, so we've got to have these contingencies in place to kind of scoop up the stuff that doesn't come.
Excuse me.
Yeah, that's I think that's pretty much everything that I wanted to cover off with you guys. But yeah, anybody got anything they want to ask about any of that lot?
No, it just all looks good, Dan.
Say that again, Dave.
It just all looks good. It all makes sense. I just need to get my arse into gear and start getting some reels out, I think.
Yeah. Is that the plan?
Yeah, oh God, yeah.
Well, reels are really good at getting you out there for free.
Yeah. I've seen enough of yours, Dan, so it does work.
Exactly. But yeah, it's because up to now it's been difficult to get that kind of reach for free. Because some of the videos, like, well, Jenny will tell you, how many have you got on some of yours? $1 million, Jenny?
Yeah, my highest was 1.5, but I don't get anywhere near that anymore. But actually, I get better quality because of sort of the processes I've put in there. So my reach isn't anywhere like it used to be, but I still get some really good leads.
Like you say, it's not about that. It's about the right people. It's not about the highest numbers. But just to give you an example, there, it's a free way of hitting that amount of people. Like previously, the only way you could do that is through paid ads. But this is, people think it's because they're competing with TikTok, isn't it? They're shitting themselves at losing all those eyeballs to TikTok. So they're trying to kind of prime their algorithms to compete with them. So they're giving a lot of free reach away now, which is a beautiful thing to take advantage of while it's there. But like I say, it's all right getting that reach. But go on, Elaine, sorry.
What sort of timescale would it be for me, like having done nothing yet, to sort of getting this funnel up and running and roughly?
It depends how quickly you do it. It's all about getting that first bit, like we talked about, the customer right, the ideal client right. Once we've got that nailed, we can get it done in a couple of weeks to get it set up. If you can, right, okay. You have to obviously record the video. You've signed up to New Age Firm, so I kind of do all the technical side of it for you, which is the biggest kind of barrier that most people have. But obviously that's taken care of for you. But ultimately, all you need to do is get that ideal client right, and then kind of just adjust these templates for the script that we use, and like I say, and then record the video, and that can be done in a couple of days, really.
I'm sort of in two minds because we've got the two different firms. We've got like the mortgage and protection firm and the wealth management firm. Whether to sort of go down the tried and tested route of mortgage and protection first, and get know what we're doing with that rather than.
No, I'd say go for the most profitable. If the financial planning side is more profitable, go for that. Yeah, either will work, but if you're going to making more money out of it, you may as well lean into the area where you're going to make more money, because that's what business is all about, isn't it? Making money.
Just know if it might just generally be slower. I don't know. I'll have to give it a thought, like you say.
There's only one way to find out for sure.
Yeah, that's it. Try it and see.
Yeah, that's it. If it doesn't work, it don't work, then we can revert to the other. But I'd start with the most profitable part, definitely. See how that goes. But yeah, like I said, this the real side of things. So obviously we in the program we teach Facebook ads, which is how to push traffic. But Reels, you can use a funnel just with Reels. It's about pushing people to your funnel from Reels. So in your Reels, you just be saying, check out this free training on whatever the domain is, the URL, and you can put that as a link as well. Obviously, you've got to be careful with external links, because the social media algorithms generally downgrade the posts that have got external links in, because they want to keep you on the platform. But if you just say it in the video, then as far as I'm aware, it doesn't pick that up. But yeah, and that'll kind of again just filter out all the crap quality stuff, because I know that's a problem you've had, Jenny, isn't it, with the Reels? You've just been getting a load of leads, but not the quality side of it.
Yeah, definitely. I think to start with, it was all a numbers game for me, and I was like, "Oh, look at me, 1.5 million! I'm so awesome!" And then realised it's just a load of shit that's coming through, and actually, I was earning no money and working really hard. So now, for me, it's very much about the quality, and that has massively just changed overnight. I don't really know how. I'm not sure what that process was, but I think it was just a combination of setting myself up and just giving it time. I think too many people look at the numbers and they want all the likes and everything. And actually what you're doing is you're meant to be speaking out to your client. And as long as it doesn't matter if you get 100 likes or one like, if that one like converts, then that's all that really matters.
Exactly. That's it. That's what I've been trying to tell people. Go on, Ross. Go on.
I was just going to say it's a patience thing. And everyone in this group will know that. Everyone who's been part of the process, done the course, or just get into the course and into it, anything that's going to be sustainable and long term takes a bit of time to do it. And you just have to have an understanding that we live in a world of instant gratification. That we're all sat here and we're pissed off that there's a strike. You know, Jenny was threaders that she had to pay £16 to send their Christmas cards today, and hope they get there. I was the same last week. You know, we're annoyed if we order something from Amazon and it's going to arrive tomorrow. We're annoyed. So we expect everything to happen like this, but that's not how it works. The stuff that is profitable, the stuff that is sustainable, the stuff that doesn't come at too great a cost for yourself personally, takes time. It really does. And if you're thinking that it's going to happen overnight, you will be deeply disappointed and you'll become annoyed with it. So you have to manage your expectations, set yourself up to get it right, and you can have high expectations. You just can't expect things to happen overnight. You have to trust the process and just be patient.
100%. Cool. Has anybody else got anything else they want to ask or anything to add?
I've run Facebook ads in the past, which got me quite a lot of leads, but I did it without the funnel or any sort of sifting. And it almost killed me.
Yeah.
Because the quality of the leads was so atrocious. I've told some people this story before. I was getting a lead a day. I'd paid a company to get me a lead a day. And I got to the stage where I was dreading my phone dinging. Because the leads were so mind-numbingly atrocious. So I stopped doing that. I haven't done anything like that since, but so I'm just, as a cautionary tale for other people, if you run Facebook ads without a funnel, I think you're largely throwing money down the drain.
Yeah.
And wasting your time.
Yeah, that's it. It's a double, well, not a double discharge, but it's a double downer, isn't it? You're paying for it, and you're paying for it in your time and your money. So it's it's like you say.
And I pay for leads, I do, and it's a bloody waste of time.
Yeah.
Same thing, Dave. Yeah. It's the same thing, because you've got there's no filter on who's coming through. Most of those lead generation companies are shite.
They are, mate. They are.
The only one I've had any success with is Unbiased.
Yeah,
they're quite good because you get a if you're in an area like me, which is quite non-saturated with mortgage brokers, there's not a lot. I mean, in a big city, I don't know how well it would work because you get a 7-kilometre radius around your selected postcode, and anything that comes into that radius is yours, but also you get concentric circles out from that radius as well. And if there aren't many around you get quite a lot of leads in.
Dave's in Birmingham, aren't you?
Well, yeah, I'm outside of Birmingham. I'm in Shropshire, actually, which is a bit more rural, shall we say.
Yeah. So it might work for you. It might work for you.
Yeah.
The guy that put me onto it was the guy that spent 20 years working for the Principality Building Society. And he said to me, anybody that comes through our door in the days where there were mortgage brokers sitting in the offices, or anybody that contacts us that we can't help, we send them to Unbiased. Go and get yourself a mortgage broker and use Unbiased.
Or Dave, you could just start putting reels out there and think, fuck it, I'll give it a go.
This is what we've signed up to do, isn't it?
Yeah. Stay away from Unbiased.
Yeah, don't do what I've done. Do what Jenny does.
I'll tell you what. I mean, I'll buy leads every month. I think beginning of the month, I think I'm going to be quiet. So I end up buying leads and then bloody shite. And then the end of the month, I've usually, got enough referral stuff and whatever, just to keep me going, you know what I mean? So it's a right waste of money. And I'd rather spend my money buying things like that Calendly and other things, with Dan. I know I need to get my arse into gear, Dan, which I will speak to you about. But yeah, more money would be better.
It's not spending either, is it?
There's so much. There is no, and look, we have to kind of give ourselves a bit of a break because there is no shortcut to this stuff, but society kind of convinces themselves that there is. So you kind of got to go against what everyone else is doing. But there's honestly things like Calendly. There is so much efficiency around these things. You get your money back so quickly. And like you've said there, you'll be surprised what will come from your referrals. From the experience that I've had working with you guys and sort of the industry, the best place to start is almost like who you know already, and where the referrals are going, So if you're going to go into looking at stuff, do the funnels that Dan's talking about. The paid stuff is our brain goes, it's a shortcut. And as a human being, we like the path of least resistance. So if there's a way that I can pay for something and it's almost like if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah.
It's a classic bit of advice, isn't it? It's but we all do it. We've all been part of it. And I think there's such better use of just that little bit of spend, whether it is a Calendly, and all of a sudden you just become super efficient with your time and energy. So then when it does come to the stuff where you've got to give your all, you're just super valuable because you're not feeling like you've been drained. You're not feeling like you're pissed off and annoyed that you've tried to buy some leads. Yeah. And it's a double downer because you're pissed off you had to pay for them and they were shit anyway. And you just and then the next month comes around, you go, it'll be different this month. It'll be different. It'll definitely be different. And you do it again, and then we don't learn. And actually, it comes down to a bit of confidence as well. You just got to back yourself. You got to back yourself. I'm going to lean into this stuff.
It's a bit of desperation, really, isn't it?
No, absolutely. Hey, look, and everyone goes through it. I include myself in this. We've all been there, and there'll be times when we go back there quicker. It's about knowing and recognizing the little red flags that goes, okay, I'm in that place of potential desperation here, or this is a little indicator that something's coming down the line. What tools have I got in play to do this? Okay, actually, if I take some time, and again, it goes back to managing our time and our expectations. If I spent, and if you get to my part in the course, I talk about a 1% thing. So 1% of the day is 14 minutes and 24 seconds. So even if you just spent 1% of your day looking at the funnel system, and that's just where you started. You don't do anything else. You just do that. Just 1% of your day. I'm just going to sit for 15 minutes and look at this funnel thing. But I'm only going to do it once. And then I'll plan it to do it twice, maybe next week. Instead of, do you know what, Dan and Ross, I'm going to get off this call and I'm going to complete this course by Sunday. And then you get to Saturday and you've not done anything, and then you're just fucking annoyed by it. And then you get to the call next week and you go, yeah, I tried to get into that course, Ross, but I just didn't get anywhere with it. And you become annoyed about it. And you then resent the course, but you didn't help yourself out. And we all do this, by the way. I do this. You don't set yourself up to be successful. So you just go, right, I'm going to dial it back a bit. I'm going to start very, very basics. I'm going to look at this funnel. I'm going to spend 15 minutes and that's it. And see where that conversation goes. And just really grab some nice early success in anything you're trying to do. And then when you're looking at the funnel system, Elaine, when you were talking about it, just have a little lean into it. You know, don't necessarily worry about how much time is it going to take me to get this perfect, because you'll never get it perfect.
Yeah.
There's never a perfect time to start. Okay. And I talk about this in some of the stuff that I do. When it comes to making deposits of time and energy, you can do that at any given time. Any time in your life, you can choose to give some time and energy to something. You're in control of that. All of you in control of that.
Control is everything, which is why this is such a good system, because you take back control.
It's ownership as well. You get to be responsible for when it goes really, really well. When it's bad as well, you get to go, yeah, okay, it's bad, but I've learned from it. But when it's going really, really well, you get to go, do you know what? I did that. That was me. I own that stuff. I'm good like that.
Yeah. That's what it's all about. Anybody else got anything else they want to ask or add anything else to the conversation, or are we all ready for bed?
Second half of the match, mate.
Oh, they was playing.
Argentina.
Argentina winning 2-0.
Who were they playing?
Croatia.
Oh, they're winning 2-0. When's the other semi?
Is it
tomorrow?
Is it tomorrow?
Yeah. Tomorrow at 7.
Lost interest now, obviously.
I know, yeah. Disappointing, but no, never mind.
Yeah, well, we're used to it now.
Yeah. But they got something this time, mate. You can't play against 12, though, can you? The ref.
You're right. All right, cheers, guys. We'll see you next week then.
Cheers, Dan.
Dan, I'll give you a shout.
Yeah, cool. Give me a shout, Sam.
I'll give you a shout this week as well, Dan. All right.
Yeah, no worries, Dan. Cool.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Cheers, everyone.